What's up YouTube, Mr. Computer Answers here today, and today we're going to be talking about probably the most critical part in creating a server, that being permissions. Now, before I start, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the continuing support of my channel with the 500 subscribers now. That's really great, and hope that I can continue on and making great videos to help you guys out. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I was very busy and ran into some computer problems, but we should be back and having a video every week. So let's go ahead and start this. Okay, so the permissions plugin that we're going to be using for this video is going to be PermissionsEx because it is constantly updated and works well with almost every single plugin, bucket plugin that is, out there. So that's what we're going to be using. And by the way, all of these plugins will be in the description, so there's no need for you to go searching for them. And also, you may notice that I am working on a Mac. However, this does not affect anything if you're working on a PC. It will be exactly the same, except for a few variations which are very easy. It's just the program that you open it in, and there's no difference in that anyways, really. So, to start, let's go ahead and go to the PermissionsEx page, which will be in the description. And let's go ahead and download it, bring you to the second page, download it. It'll download in a zip file. So let's go ahead and wait for that to complete. And when it's complete, you should just be able to double click it, and it should unzip it and put it into a folder, wherever that might be. And for me, that happens to be in my downloads folder. And it'll come with these 4 jar files. Now, I use all 4 of these jar files because I think that they work very well with each other, and they work well and don't conflict with other plugins. So I'm just going to be using all of them for this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new browser window, and go ahead and navigate to my server folder. In the folder, there should be another subfolder called plugins. Go ahead and open that up, and go back to my downloads, select all of the plugins or .jar files, and drag them into the plugins folder in my server folder. I feel like I'm saying folder a lot, so hopefully you aren't bugged by that. Anyways, I'll go ahead and start the server up by double-clicking start.command, or if you're on a PC, double-clicking the start.bat file. So double-click it, and on a Mac, it'll open in Terminal. On a PC, it'll open in CMD. I just completely blanked out on what was happening there. And so now, if you go back to your server folder, you'll notice it will have created 3 new folders. So we can go ahead and stop this, just hitting stop in there, and go ahead and close that out. And what we're going to be going into is PermissionsEx. With this PermissionsEx folder, there should be 2 other YML files. Now, these are usually able to be natively opened with your text editor, which on Windows I believe is Notepad or Notepad++, whichever one you have. On a Mac, they won't open natively. Well, natively, I guess they will open, but you just have to tell the Mac operating system what you want to open them with. So, we'll start with the config.yml. Right-click, open with, and other. On a PC, I believe that they will just automatically open on Notepad, and if they don't, go ahead and email me, and I should get back to you, or comment, and someone else will help you in the comments. I'll be opening it up with Text Wrangler on my computer. You do not need this program, just saying. You can use any program you want, whether that be TextEdit, Notepad. Okay, I feel like I'm going way overload on this, but anyways, so I'm going to make sure that this file in here is permissions.yml and matches this, and that's good. Also, you want to make sure that you turn this create user records value to true, because this is extremely important. It basically saves each user's data, and if you have it as false, the whole permissions will not work well. So you just gotta make sure you change it to true, and make sure you save it. Okay, so all this data here looks good for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the permissions.yml now. So basically, find your server folder and navigate to the plugins folder, then to the PermissionsEx folder, and then find the permissions.yml. Now on a Mac, you're going to have to tell your computer what you want to open this with. However, on a Windows, it should open automatically with Notepad once you double-click it. If not, go ahead and leave a comment and ask some people about it, or send me an email and I'll respond and try and help you guys out. So on a Mac, I'll go ahead and choose Open With and Other. And I'm going to choose Text Wrangler or Text Edit. Either one will work fine. You don't need Text Wrangler for this. Go ahead and hit Open, and it'll open this. So hopefully all of this text was created for you guys. If not, go ahead and download the link in this video, and in that link there will be all of the files that are used in this tutorial, and all the files will be, what I mean is the YML files, or the permissions we're creating. So to start, you want to make sure you have this little groups up here with the colon, and next you're going to go ahead and hit enter, and I believe you want to space over 4 times. 4 times, yep. You want to space over 4 times, don't use tabs, it messes it up. And this is the class name. So just go ahead and name it what you want. I'm going to use the default class for this video, but we'll be creating more classes in addition also in this video. So default, true, that means that as soon as someone joins your server, they're automatically going to be put into this default group. And so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this just because it's not my preference to have this here, just because it gets really messy and it's hard to tell whether or not you have build set to true or false. Now, in order to set build to true or false, I'm just going to go ahead and go to right in between these and hit enter, go ahead and type in build, and go ahead and type in true. Now what this is saying is, as soon as someone joins your server, they're automatically put into the default group. And this default group is able to build anywhere in the entire server. And that's because this build value is set to true. However, if it was set to false, then they wouldn't be able to build anywhere. So I just decided to set it to true because I think it's a little bit harsh to not letting them to build when they just join your server. But, you know, and having that modify world thing down here, I really don't like it because eventually when you start creating groups and permissions, it goes on for a really long time and it's hard to tell whether or not you have this build value set to true. So that's why I set it to true here rather than modify world, if that makes sense. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is creating a prefix. Now what a prefix is I'll try and show you a picture here. It's kind of like this. It's this title in between these brackets. So like VIP, owner, admin, mod, stuff like that, you know. So basically in order to do that, we'll go ahead and hit enter here, and we'll make sure we're in line with all of these. You can do that by just hitting up arrow and making sure that it's in line. So it is. And so what we're going to go ahead and do is type in prefix, colon, and an apostrophe, and then you want to type in the color. Now, the color is one of these colors, like the green or something, and basically I'll put a list in the description of all the colors you can put in there. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and hit the and sign and 8. And for now, basically what this is saying is this right here is just basically referencing a color and telling the PermissionsEx to use this color. So just select that from a color and you can change this to whatever you want. So let's say I'll use that, and that's a color. I don't know by memory what color it is, so I'm just going to leave it at that, and then that's a dark gray color. So next, what we'll do is go ahead and put the bracket, and that bracket is this here. And now, what you're typing in between this bracket is what you'll see here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in default, and then end bracket. That wasn't a bracket. End bracket. And next, what I think is really, really, really useful is typing this and F. Now, basically what that does is instead of having the whole entire name one color, it takes away, it just colors the tag. So with this tag here, the name would be white, and this would be the only thing green if it was applied to this, but it isn't. But I like it better with this and F. So you'll see when I go into Minecraft and show you how it is when it's running. But for now, you'll decide later. But you'll probably like it better. Anyways, now probably one of the most crucial parts in creating a server is this permissions part. Now, this is really easy to do, but a lot of people have trouble with it, and I'll try and explain this really easily so you guys will be able to do this very well. So, to start, we'll just go ahead and hit enter, and the first thing you want to do is go ahead and make a little hyphen there, and then always make sure you have a space, because there's a lot of errors, and a lot of them occur because there isn't a space between the hyphen and the permission node, which we'll be getting to in a second. So what a permission node is it's basically the plugin name, and then a property of the plugin, and then possibly another property of the plugin. That probably doesn't help you guys out very much, so I'll go ahead and show you guys what it is. Now, for this tutorial, I'm going to be using the permission node of Essentials, and this plugin I think is very crucial. I'm using that word a lot, but it's a very motivative word, but it's a very good plugin for your server. So actually I'm going to go ahead and download it right now. Sorry if this is taking some more time, but you could go ahead and skip a little bit of this over, or skip over it a little bit, and I'll just go ahead and extract the zip file. Extracting, here it is. I'm just going to go ahead and use this essentials.jar and go ahead and drag it into my plugins folder. So I'll just go ahead and put it in there, close that out. And now we can use the essentials nodes. So anyways, that was just like a giant distraction. On every single plugin site that's a good plugin, there should be something about permissions. Now, if there isn't, honestly, I'm not going to be able to help you guys out. You guys need to contact the developer of the plugin to find out what the permissions is. But usually if you look around here, you'll be able to find something about permissions. So look around. Oh, command permissions. So I'll go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring me to this page. So here is a whole bunch of permission nodes, and the permission nodes are these. So basically, if I were to take this, copy it, and paste it into here, it would give them access to the command. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say we want the default group to be able to access the /game mode command. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this, go ahead and copy it. So edit, copy, go in here, edit, paste, and it looks fine. It seems to be working perfectly good. So that's good, I guess. Anyways, let's say we want to give them another command. I think that they should have the /give command. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that, copy it, and I'm going to hit enter, make another hyphen, and do command, or just paste it in. Man, let's say we want them to have access to the kit. So in order to do that, we'll copy it, and then we'll make another hyphen and paste it in. However, you can see I messed up here. You want to make sure there's only one space in between there, otherwise it will come up with an error. So next, let's go ahead and create another group. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of this just to save time, and then I'm just going to paste it in. Now, an error I see immediately is that this group is not in line with this group. So go ahead and space over 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it's in line by hitting the up arrow once again. It is in line. So on this, let's go ahead and call this group or class, you can call it moderator. Okay. We can go ahead and delete this default because it's already declared up here, so we don't need it. Leave this build set to true, and let's go ahead and give them a prefix. So I'm going to use the color 3 this time, and that's going to be a light blue color, mod. And once again, all of these color codings will be in the description so you guys could figure that out. And now, a huge thing when creating permissions is something called inheritance. Now what inheritance is it basically takes these commands that you put in the group in the default class and gives them to moderator without having to put them in the big long permission list. So I can just go ahead and delete these and instead go ahead and hit enter, and then put a hyphen. Not a hyphen, actually. Delete that. Erase it from your memory. You've never heard that from me. Never. Go ahead and hit inheritance. Or make, or type inheritance. Then make a hyphen. And then type in default. Because that's the class you want to inherit the commands from. So now, this moderator class has access to all of these commands that the default class has access to, without even typing any permissions. Now I think that's a very, very good way, instead of having to constantly type them, because I'll show you an example. Actually, I'll just show you right now. So this is the permissions for my server right now. Basically, I have the inheritance of all the classes from the other one, so I wouldn't want to have basically copy all of this and put it into the next class, if that makes sense. That could have just confused you more, but it helps a lot, especially when you start getting big, giant, long lists like these. So, it helps a lot. I'd recommend using it whenever you can. So anyways, let's go ahead and give the moderator some commands. Actually, let's go ahead and give the moderator all the commands, and we can do that simply by notating it. And the notation, correctly said, is a apostrophe, a star thingy, asterisk, star thingy, and another apostrophe. That gives them access to all the commands. Now, let's say, oh wait, I want them to have access to all the commands, except for this one command. I don't want them to have access to the essentials.item command, or the /item command. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go back here. And as you can see, I've already made a new line, and you want to make sure that you put the space here. So a space, and then another hyphen, and then paste the command in, and you want to make sure there's no space in between the command and the second hyphen. So now, the moderator will have access to all the commands except for the essentials.item command. See, it's just basically minusing it. So let's go ahead and create one more class, and we can do that by just copying this and pasting it in. Once again, you can see we have a problem, so let's go ahead and fix it. Make sure it's even. It's even. Go ahead and call this admin. We can go ahead and set this to moderator. Except on admin, because I actually want them to have access to just all the commands. They're trusted, so I think they can have every command on this server. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the inheritance because there's no need for it. And it may slow down everything. So I'm going to change the color to 4, which is a red color, which I think suits admins. Admin is the prefix. They have access to all the commands. And so I think this is pretty good for now. Make sure you save it. If you don't save it, it won't work. So make sure you save it. Okay, so now we are ready to start up our server, but first, I just want to point out that there is nothing on this line right now, or the lines below it. Now, there will be very soon, because as soon as we start up our server, it will automatically create user records. And why? Because if you remember, in the config.yml, we changed the create user records to true. Now you'll see why this is very important and crucial. So make sure that's true. And next, I just want to tell you guys, I know that you guys are going to have a billion problems with this, and I already see a problem with mine. I think you should have one space in between these. Anyways, I know you guys are going to have a billion problems with this, but just go ahead and email me at mrcomputeranswers@gmail.com, because any other way is very difficult, like YouTube messaging and comments, very hard. Just email me. I'll try and get back to you guys within a day, just because of the mass amount of emails I get per day. So hopefully I'll get back to you. Actually, I will get back to you really soon. Okay, so now we're ready to start up our server, but first, I actually spotted a problem, and you can't have one space between here. You can't have this space. So just delete it and make sure there's no space in between here in order for it to work. Remember, this is taking away this one command. So make sure you save it. And now we can go ahead and start up our server. So start it up. And once it's all started up, we can go ahead and go into multiplayer. Still waiting for it to start up, as you see. And once again, there's no errors here, so that is a good sign. Go into multiplayer, and we are in. And remember, if we talk, we have this default tag, and that's because, hold on, I have a bad feeling that there is a lot of game sound. So hopefully that gets rid of the game sound, but if it doesn't, oh well. Anyways, you can see that when we chat, we have this default tag, and that's because of this. And once again, this F or and F sign means that this name is white. If this wasn't there, then the whole entire name would be one color, and that one color would be this dark gray. And so let's say we want to promote ourselves to moderator. Now to do that, we go back into the permissions YML, and here you can see it automatically generated it, and it wasn't there before, so it's there now. So just simply change this to moderator, and make sure that this spelling matches a group name up here, and it does. So now we can save it, go into the command prompt and type in px reload, and that just simply reloads this page so you don't have to restart your server. Now if we talk, we're mod, and it's light blue, and that matches here. I'm actually going to take this away so you guys can see the effect of it. But first, actually, I should have shown you guys this. So we have access to all the commands, gm, unlimited, clear inventory, but we don't have access to that /item command, and that's because of this. And if we go back to default, we would have access to these 3 commands, but nothing else. So remember, I took away this and F sign now, and I'm going to save it, change myself to admin, save it again, and do px reload, and spelled wrong. And now you'll see my whole entire name is red, and that's because there is no and F. And I just like it better with that and F. So I use it on my server, and now you can see the difference between those two. And of course we have access to all the commands, so now we have access to the item command, which the moderator didn't. And I think that is about it for this tutorial, guys. That is it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, subscribe. I know it was a bit lengthy, but please forgive me for that, and we'll be coming out with a new tutorial next week, so be looking forward to that. But in the meantime, you guys can go ahead and join my server before it goes public. I know it's taking a long time to go public, but hey, it'll be worth the wait. This is the IP. You can go ahead and join it, but I think it will change by the end because we'll be getting a website which can host and will change the IP. That's another tutorial. But for now, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.